Fundamental duties are contained in Part 4A of the Indian Constitution. Article 51A deals with the fundamental duties. The fundamental duties are inspired from the USSR, Russia. In 1976, Saran Singh Committee was set up to receive the recommendation about the fundamental duties. The committee had recommended almost 8 duties. Some of the recommendations of the committee were not incorporated in the constitution, and these were: first, imposition of penalty or punishment; second, no questioning of such penalty or punishment in court; third, the duty to pay taxes to be duty. Through the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976, 10 fundamental duties were added. Japanese constitution is the only democratic constitution in the world which contains a list of the duties. In 2002, one more fundamental duty was added under 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. The list of the fundamental duties are: first, respect Constitution, its ideals, institution, national flag and anthem. B. Cherish and follow national struggle for freedom. C. Uphold and protect sovereignty, unity and integrity. D. Defend country and render national service. E. Promote harmony and brotherhood. F. Value and preserve rich heritage culture. G. Protect and improve natural environment. H. Develop scientific temper and humanism. I. Safeguard public property and abjure violence. J. Strive towards excellence. K. Education to children from 6 to 14 years. That fundamental duty was added by 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. Features of the fundamental duties. Some of the duties are moral and some of the duties are civic in nature. They refer to the value of Indian tradition. The fundamental duties are confined to citizens only. The fundamental duties are non-justiciable. The criticism of the fundamental duties. First, they are not exhaustive because they don't cover some of the important duties like casting vote, paying taxes, family planning and so on. Some of the duties are vague, ambiguous and difficult to understand. According to some critics, they are code of moral precepts. The duties are also described as superfluous in nature. Significance of the fundamental duties. First, they serve as a reminder to citizens. Second, they serve as a warning against anti-national and anti-social activities. Third, they serve as a source of inspiration. Fourth, they help courts to examine and determine constitutional validity of law. Fifth, they are enforceable by law. Basic structure of the Constitution. Shankari Prasad Case 1951. Constitutional validity of First Amendment Act 1951, which curtailed right to property, was challenged. Supreme Court said that amendment powers of Parliament under Article 368 also includes power to amend the fundamental rights. The word law in Article 13 includes only ordinary law, not constitutional amendment acts. Hence, Parliament can abridge or take away any fundamental right. In Golaknath case 1967, Supreme Court reversed its earlier decision. In that case, constitutional validity of 17th Amendment Act 1964, which inserted certain states act in 9th schedule, was challenged. Supreme Court ruled that fundamental rights are transcendental and immutable. Hence, Parliament cannot abridge or take away any fundamental right. Constitutional Amendment Act is also law within meaning of Article 13 of the Indian Constitution. Parliament reacted by enacting 24th Amendment Act 1971 and declared that Parliament can abridge or take away any fundamental right under Article 368 of the Indian Constitution, and such act will not be law under Article 13 of the Indian Constitution. Keshavananda Bharati case in 1973, Supreme Court overruled its earlier judgment of Golaknath case 1967. It upheld validity of 24th Amendment Act 1971 and stated Parliament is empowered to abridge or take away any fundamental right. Also laid the doctrine of basic structure or basic feature of the Constitution. Again, Parliament reacted by enacting 42nd Amendment Act 1976 and declared that there is no limitation on power of Parliament. and no amendment can be questioned in any court. In Minerva Mill case 1980, Supreme Court invalidated this provision as it excluded judicial review, which is a basic feature of the Indian Constitution. Court stated that amendment powers of Parliament are limited, and Parliament cannot enlarge these powers into absolute power. Limited amending power is one of the basic features of the Constitution. In Vaman Rao case 1981, Supreme Court clarified that doctrine of basic structure would apply to constitutional amendments enacted after 24th April 1973. Elements of basic structure. First, supremacy of the Constitution. Second, nature of Indian polity, that is sovereign, democratic and republican. Third, secular character of the Constitution. Fourth, separation of powers between legislature, executive and judiciary. Fifth, federal character of the Constitution. Sixth, unity and integrity of nation. Seventh, welfare of state. Eighth, judicial review. Ninth, freedom and dignity of individual. 10th, parliamentary system. 11th, rule of law. 12th, harmony and balance between fundamental rights and directive principle of state policies. 13th, principle of equality. 14th, free and fair elections. 15th, independence of judiciary. 16th, limited power of Parliament to amend Constitution. 17th, effective access to justice. 18th, principle of reasonableness. 19th, powers of Supreme Court under Article 32, Article 136, Article 141 and Article 142 of the Indian Constitution.